You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back, and it's back. The Black and White Sports Top 5 NFL Power Rankings plus honorable mentions. This was by far our most popular recurring video last year. It grew the channel quite a bit. It always got the most views. And it in the XFL pre the woke sports era, this was by far our most popular recurring video. And so I'm ready with a pre-first game top 5 plus honorable mentions. Also, I know many of you are going to boycott the season, and we don't hate you for that, okay? We don't blame you either, all right? So I am working on something special for you guys. My top 5 social justice warriors that have ruined your fucking sports this year, okay? So I know John Matrix is somewhere going, Rhodes, don't drop the F-bomb. Look, a lot of people are pissed about it, so we're going to make it. We're going to make it through this. It won't get demonetized, I promise, John. Okay, so let's get it rolling. We'll start out with honorable mentions. Honorable mentions are not in any particular order. Let's start. Dallas Cowboys. That's right. Look, I love the fact that they hired Mike McCarthy. I really liked him when he was in Green Bay. I think one of the issues that Mike McCarthy had was, he had been coaching there so long that his voice kind of got stale in that locker room. But anybody that has dealt with the diva-like attitude of Aaron Rodgers, and you will find out as you watch myself and John Matrix, we pick games live every Sunday morning, okay, of the football season. As you watch that live stream, you will find out that we like Aaron Rodgers. We do believe he's one of the best quarterbacks ever, but we're not quite as high on Aaron as a lot of people are. A lot of your woke sportscasters and commentators love some Aaron Rodgers, and it is because they want to try to take it away from Tom Brady. Make no mistake, it's all about Brady. Everybody remember the Trump hat in the Brady locker room? Look, they've been on a hate Brady brigade ever since that one incident. And then, of course, Robert Kraft is tight. That's neither here nor there, but you get the point. They love them some Aaron Rodgers. I think it is a big deal that they have upgraded to Mike McCarthy over Jason Garrett. I consider Jason Garrett to absolutely positively be Marvin Lewis 2.0. The epitome of 8 and 8. Okay? Oh, I'm going to be just competitive enough to miss the playoffs or barely get us in and get us knocked out in the first round. I think Mike McCarthy could, and I'm kind of high on Dak. I like Dak Prescott. I liked him a hell of a lot coming out of Mississippi State. As soon as I saw him play in the Senior Bowl, and yeah, I'm one of them guys. I watched the Senior Bowl. As soon as I saw him play in the Senior Bowl, I was like, you know what? Dak's going to make it in the NFL. Somebody ought to try to draft him higher. So when the Cowboys drafted him, I was like, oh shit, they got a starting quarterback. And sure enough, they had a starting quarterback. I've got Dak down in that 12 to 15 range, 16 range in the league. But I think you could win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott. I do. Cowboys got great wide receiver weapons. Amari Cooper, who is a number 1, although I think he's a number 2 that we masquerade as a number 1 because he throws a lot of his stats up during either being way behind or way ahead, okay? And there's a lot of garbage stats. Amari Cooper has been known to disappear in big moments of big games, okay? But they got Robert Gallup, and they drafted CeeDee Lamb, who is an absolute beast. The Cowboys could theoretically have 3 1,000-yard receivers on that team this year. Okay. The problem with the Cowboys is going to be defense. It always is defense. I'm not even going to talk about their defense because it's It's that not noteworthy, okay? It's definitely the weak link on the team. And look, maybe they can turn that defense around. That was the problem with Garrett, and we will have to see with the Cowboys. So, my next honorable mention is the Pittsburgh Steelers. You might be like, whoa, they just finished. Look, the Pittsburgh Steelers showed their asses last year. They showed a lot of heart, and let's look at my criteria. Mike Tomlin, Big Ben Roethlisberger is coming back. A Hall of Fame quarterback and a hell of a disciplined, good football coach in Mike Tomlin. I look for a big bounce-back year from the Steelers. Now, my major concern with the Steelers is offensive weapons. I think Juju Smith-Schuster is actually a number 2 masquerading as a number 1. They missed that down-the-field stretch of Antonio Brown. They missed him greatly. But look, Ben's got a cannon. We will see how healthy he is. One of the problems with trying to put this power ranking together is I've seen nothing. I've seen no preseason action at all. And that's rough. Usually I got my eyes on some rookies. I've got my eyes on some depth players, things like that. That can cause a team to get real good, okay, and real deep. But I don't have that luxury this year, all right? It's all off of last year and off-season draft stuff, free agents, and what have players and coaches done in the past. But I think this is a bounce-back year for the Steelers. If the Steelers win 10 games, it won't surprise me at all. If they win 11 games, it won't surprise me at all. I know it's a tough division with Baltimore, but we'll see. We'll find out, okay? My next honorable mention is going to be the Tennessee Titans. Again, Mike Vrabel, I like him a hell of a lot. They played the shit out of the Ravens last year. They ran up and down all over the Patriots and the Ravens. Derrick Henry is a juggernaut. He is the real-life version of the Marvel juggernaut that used to fight the X-Men all the time. I'm a nerd. I can be a nerd, yeah. So, he's a monster. He's an absolute monster. I like Mike Vrabel. Their defense did take a hit, though. They lost Jarrell Casey. They lost Logan Ryan. Kenny Vaccaro is still there, and he's a beast, and he's a headhunter. But look, when you're rotating in Harold Landry III, who was actually released by my 49ers, you know, look, Harold's a good player. He's a solid player, but he should strictly be a rotational guy at best. And here's the thing. How good is Ryan Tannehill? I'm actually kind of high on Tannehill. I always was. Look at this. Tannehill has actually led 2 teams to the playoffs. He led the Dolphins to the playoffs, and then he led the Titans to the playoffs. Tannehill is a pretty solid quarterback in this league. That said, I still would have taken Tom Brady, okay? Now, here we go. Number 5, I've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What? Look, Bruce Arians and the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady, joins the team. He's going to be playing in warm weather. That 43-year-old body's going to be able to get out there and get sweaty and get lubricated. And from everything I've seen, from him throwing the ball to him working with receivers, he looks really good. He is in phenomenal conditioning, and I don't think Brady has lost nearly what people think off his arm, and he has got some monsters on offense. They signed LaShawn McCoy, who I think is about to have a strangely bounce-back year. He's going to have one of those 500 rushing, 500 receiving type seasons for about 1,000 total scrimmage yards and about maybe 6 or 8 touchdowns. Brady loves to throw to the running backs, and LaShawn McCoy can sure as hell catch the ball out of the backfield. They signed Leonard Fournette yesterday. Big boy, had some attitude issues. Tom Brady will get him in line. So now he's got running backs, And good God, the Tampa Bay Bucs have got receivers everywhere. You've got Mike Evans, who is a beast. You've got Chris Godwin, who is a beast. Rob Gronkowski, unretired. Cameron Brake is a hell of a good tight end. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, look, they will go as far as their defense can help them. Okay? And their defense struggled last year, but their defense was a lot better during the second half of the season. It was a lot better. I will tell you right now, if we look up and see Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl, it will not floor me one bit. I do have one serious con. Bruce Arians plays a no risk it, no biscuit type of offense, which means he's going to throw the ball down the field, which is great. But you've got a 43-year-old quarterback that will leave exposed to being hit. Okay? Now, that being said, Tom Brady will bring some of that New England offense in, and they'll mend it in with Bruce Arians, and good God, I'm ready for that. Number 4, the New Orleans Saints. That's right. Look, once again, Hall of Fame quarterback Drew Brees, potential Hall of Fame head coach Sean Payton, great offensive scheme. He's a mastermind. You got Michael Thomas at wide receiver. They signed Emmanuel Sanders away from the 49ers, a major hit to my guys, a major hit on a wide receiving core, and we'll get to them. We'll get to my Niners. But Emmanuel Sanders is a really good possession receiver, and they've got they're working out something for Alvin Kamara's contract. Okay, they got Cam Jordan down there on defense. Malcolm Jenkins, I'm not a big fan of him on a personal level, but he's a hell of a football player, okay, in the secondary. And Dennis Allen has had that defense playing workable football to be able to keep the Saints in games. Okay, and of course their offense is going to score. Now, I've got a couple of concerns with the Saints. The big one is, will Drew Brees drop off a cliff this year? For the past 2 seasons, Drew Brees has had trouble throwing the ball down the field, and Taysom Hill came this close to being the starting quarterback in New Orleans this year. Make no mistake, this close. Okay, I listened to too many podcasts where it was this close. And actually, I would love to see what Sean Payton could do with Taysom Hill full time. And Hill may get around 2 out of every 10 snaps on offense this year. 20% is what you're looking at. So, the defense just has to be a competitive defense because the Saints are going to score points. But let me say this going into the season. Do not assume the NFC South is running through New Orleans, because I really and truly believe it's going to end up running through Tampa Bay. But right now, I'm going to give the edge to the Saints because we haven't seen the Bucs on the field yet. I can't wait to see that. Number 3, my San Francisco 49ers. That's right. Okay, so a lot of positives here. I really, really like Kyle Shanahan as a head coach. I do. He's a coaching psycho. He's got that Mike Shanahan pedigree. I am a really big fan of Mike Shanahan. I love John Lynch. Together, they have done a phenomenal job with this team. I love the zone blocking running scheme. And let's face it, the Niners ran all over everybody. And it was a beautiful thing to see. That's not going to change. Raheem Mostert got re-signed. He asked for a trade, but then they re-signed him. He wanted more money. Now, the defense front 7 is filthy. We got Dee Ford. We got Nick Bosa. We got Eric Armstead. That is a beastly front 7. The problem is the back end of the defense is not so great. The secondary is not real great and real strong for the Niners. Jimmy G. I'm pretty high on Jimmy G, okay? And I actually think Jimmy's more down in that 12-13 range at quarterback. A lot of people came down on Jimmy last year because of the missed throw in the Super Bowl. But let's be honest, Jimmy had the Niners winning by 10 points with 10 minutes left in the Super Bowl. And that was Jimmy G's first full NFL season. Okay? I actually expect Jimmy will take a real step up this season for the 49ers. So there's a lot of things I still like about the Niners. I understand it's a tough division, and I bet some people were wondering where in the hell are the Seattle Seahawks in this. I'm not so high on the Seahawks. I was very high on them last year, and they were always in my top 5. I think the Seahawks might take a step back. Okay? Because also, the Cardinals, I believe, will be better, and I think the Rams are still going to be very competitive. It's going to be a hell of a tough division. I am concerned about one particular item, the Super Bowl loss factor. Will the Niners collapse? We've seen teams in the past collapse because of a Super Bowl loss. I don't believe that's happening to this team. I think there's too much talent. I think there's too much discipline, and we will find out, but I've got the Niners pretty much winning the West. Okay, I've got the Niners winning the West, and I still think the MC is going to go through San Francisco. Number 2, the Baltimore Ravens. That's right. AFC North champs last year. Lamar Jackson, MVP. A lot of talent on this team. Mark Andrews, tight end. Marquise Brown, wide receiver. Mark Ingram, 1,000-yard rusher. They run the ball. I love that Greg Roman offense. That was the same offense that Harbaugh had rolling when Kaepernick still had his fucking head screwed on straight. That was running all over the place. And that also tells me Greg Roman, that is a tough team. Under John Harbaugh, Greg Roman, that is a phenomenally tough team. The defense is strong. The secondary is good. That is a very strong all-around football team in Baltimore. Now, do I have some questions? Lamar Jackson, is he going to show up come playoff time? Could he take a step back? I know he won MVP, but there were still some things that makes me wonder, is the league going to catch up to Lamar Jackson? He looks like he can throw out of the pocket fairly well, okay, which has been sort of an Achilles heel of some of these running quarterbacks. Lamar's looked pretty good out of the pocket, but as teams get tougher, as defenses get tougher, as it gets colder, Lamar started kind of falling back. You get to the playoffs, and in the playoffs, he's been dominated. He's been absolutely dominated. Can the Baltimore Ravens win the Super Bowl? And it's something you need to know. Once we get in the top 5, any one of these 5 teams would not shock me if they win the Super Bowl one bit. Okay? So this is also sort of my running list of potential Super Bowl champions later. Baltimore Ravens, again, John Harbaugh, I love him as a coach. I think he's a hell of a football coach. His team always plays their asses off. Earl Thomas was going to be a big player for this team in the secondary. He showed his ass, and they cut him. There's been some talk that maybe he could end up with the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys could use him, but Earl Thomas has got an attitude problem. So I don't know if you want to bring him in or not. So, number 2, Baltimore Ravens. Good stuff. Number 1, and I don't think this is a big surprise to anybody, the Kansas City Chiefs. But Patrick Mahomes is phenomenal. Andy Reid. Look, He is always drawing up in the playground, in the sand, schemes. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. They've got offensive weapons. Sammy Watkins. They're going to score points. And the scariest thing about the Chiefs is exactly what happened to the Niners. Look at how good that 49ers defense is. It didn't matter. The Chiefs just came back and blew right by them like they were standing still. No lead in the NFL is safe when you're playing the Chiefs, which makes them extremely dangerous. They got Tyrann Mathieu out there at safety, the Honey Badger. And so they've got Chris Jones. They've got some guys on defense. Again, kind of like the Saints. Can your defense play competitive football? Because the offense is going to score 40 points. So can you keep the other team to 35, 38, 32, 30? Okay, you don't have to be a world beater on defense when you can score 40 or 45 every time you take the field. So, wow, 20 and a half minutes. And it'll be even longer with the intro and the outro. This was my first game of the year NFL Power Rankings. Hit subscribe. Yes, I did almost all of that off the top of my head. I'm a big football fan. So, tell me what you think. Black and white sports fans, I know the Black and White Army, even if they're boycotting, they're going to watch this video because you guys fucking support this channel and you guys rock and you keep kicking ass out there. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.